Selecting the best audience on Facebook will hopefully lead me to get a lower cost per lead. So in these videos, I'm going to show you two tests that I set up. Currently, before this, I was only running an ad to an open audience, meaning all I did was select an area in Connecticut plus 15 miles, because that's the minimum radius with the special ad category for housing. And I just ran ads to that entire audience in that area. In this video, I play around a lot with testing different audiences, like using some interests. So maybe people are interested in Zillow and people who are interested in home improvement. And I'll dive into exactly how I test those audiences, and we'll see which one ultimately ends up performing the best.
In my last video, I tested the different objectives, and we found out that the video views objective was able to build my audience for the cheapest cost, top of funnel. Now we're going to jump in and test which is the best audience within that. So before I was using a totally open audience, I just selected Orange, Connecticut plus 15 miles, which is the minimum radius with the special ad audience. And you can see here now I've created an A/B test in Facebook of various different audiences. And we're going to see which one performs best. Obviously, I just started running this, so there's not too many impressions yet, so I don't have the results. But if I jump in here, I'll show you how I set up this campaign. I use Facebook's A/B testing feature, so pretty easy to set up there. Kept everything the same. The only thing I varied is the audiences, and you can actually see as I go through here the different audiences that I chose. So for this one, I created a special ad audience, which is the equivalent of a lookalike audience, which means I took a lot of the people who had viewed my videos for 10 seconds, and I told actually Facebook to create two lookalike audiences, basically go out and find people with similar characteristics and try to serve ads to them to see if we get a cheaper cost to build our audience here. So I created two of those. You can see I created a special ad audience, a 1 to 3%, and just the 1% as well. So there's two of those, and I'll jump in after this in a second, show you guys how to set that up. Then I also did a little bit of interest targeting. You can see here I targeted a bunch of different interests. This one I mainly focused on people who maybe had behaviors or interests that would show that they're interested in selling. So if they have an interest in Zillow and they also have an interest in cash out refinancing, right? So I took about 5 interests and I put them, and I used an and. So I said, okay, if they have an interest in Zillow or Trulia and they have an interest in cash out refinancing or installment loans, then let's serve them this. Now you can see my audience is pretty small here because I'm also doing it in Orange, Connecticut plus 15 miles, so I'm not sure how this one's going to work out, but we'll give it a shot. This other campaign here, I did another interest audience. I thought, okay, maybe people who are interested in something related to mortgage, not a new mortgage, but again, kind of a cash out refi or for sale by owner, and they have some kind of interest. That means they've been looking up online things about construction and home improvement or home repair. Maybe those people are motivated because they're looking at ways to get money out of their house, but they don't want to, they have all these repairs that they potentially need to do because they're looking those up online as well. So I'm going to test out that audience. It's a little bit bigger at 23,000, still a little bit of a small audience for Facebook, but we'll see what the results are. And the last one, of course, I have my control group here, which is the audience I was using before, which is totally open audience, no interest, Orange, Connecticut plus 15 miles. So we'll see how this works out. Just to show you guys real quick how I created that special ad audiences, you can go into audience here in Facebook. And then under create an audience, just hit special ad audience. And then you can select your initial data source. So in this case, I just did people who watch any of my top of funnel videos for 10 seconds. So you could select that there, and then you can pick how many special ad audiences you want. Also for the sources here, if you have a lot of website traffic, you can use that too. I've mostly been focusing on video, so that's why I chose that, but I could go in here and take my website visitors. But you really want to wait until you have at least 1,500 people in your audience to do that, and I do not have 1,500 people who visited my site yet. Now, I went down here, and Facebook allows you to pick, let's pick one random one. I'm not going to actually create it, but Facebook allows you to pick the number of special ad audiences you want to make. So what I did is I created 2, and then you can create the range, right? So I created one audience that says, okay, give me the people who are the 1% closest. And then I said, I also want to see what the 3% are. So they'll create 2 audiences for me. The first one is people who are the 1% closest to the audience that I fed in Facebook, in this case 10-second video viewers. And then it's going to create a second retargeting audience that shows me 1 to 3%. So it's not going to include the 0 to 1. In that second one, it's going to include the people who are from the 1 to 3% similarity. So we'll see how that works out, and I'll post another video in a few days once we have the results of that A/B test. So here's the audience test that I spoke about in my last video. And you can see all the different audiences are here in my results. And ultimately, the winner of the test actually ended up being the open audience without any interest or without any special ad audience lookalikes. And the way I determined that is I was looking at my cost to get a 10-second video view. And you can see the cheapest ones here are the open audience and the 1% special ad audience. And then if you go over to through plays, they actually were tied there as well. But I ultimately decided that I would just go with the open audience as the winner. And the reason for that is if I'm going to get the same price for 10-second video views and through plays as I am with this audience over here, I might as well reach more people. And because the CPMs, which is the cost per 1,000 impressions, were more for the special ad audience, so that was that 1% lookalike, I ended up getting actually less reach. So I ultimately went with this one as a winner, and then I decided I'm going to run some other A/B tests with different audiences, and I'll jump over to that now. So these are the new ones I set up here. The different audiences that I used. Open these up. As you can see, this one here, I took the special audience, ad audience, 1% of the Connecticut long-term owners. So what I did is I went and I exported a list of people who had owned property. I think it was I did before 1982, and I had about 15,000 people on that list. I uploaded that to Facebook to see if they could match that, and then I created a 1% special ad audience, basically telling Facebook to go out and find people similar to that. I figured those people probably getting to the point where they may want to downsize. So if Facebook can find similar people to that, maybe those people have some motivation to sell. The other one I created 2 other special ad audiences, which are basically lookalike audiences for the housing category. And I did a 1% lookalike of people who watched 75% or more of any of my videos that were over 45 seconds. So I took all my 45-second videos and created this audience, people who watch 75% or more, and then I went in, I told Facebook, go find people similar to this group. So I figured they're motivated. I did the same thing here, except I just did that with people who watched half the video, as opposed to 75%, just to A/B test those two. And here's kind of my control, which was the winner from last time, which is just the Orange, Connecticut plus 15 miles. That's the open audience. And we'll see how this test goes. We'll see what the winner is here, and then I have a few more that I want to test after I have a winner here. And hopefully we can find the audience that is going to convert at the cheapest rate. The winner again in this second test was still the open audience. If you look here, we can see our cost per 10-second video view. The others came in at either 4 or 5 cents, whereas the open audience came in at 3. And then even if you go over to the cost per through play, which since these are longer videos, that would just be basically the cost for a 15-second video play. it was still the cheapest at 5 cents. So far, the open audience is the winner. Obviously, going to continue experimenting with more audiences, see if we can improve this. Now, sometimes the lookalike audiences will also improve over time as we get more data. Maybe I can create lookalike audiences on the website viewers, or hopefully ultimately on people who actually submitted the form, a lead form, or a form on our site. So I'll continue to run those tests, and I will keep you guys posted.